A viral disease had begun spreading like wildfire on the alien planet Zyga. It was an unseen enemy, striking without warning and sparing no one, neither the young nor the old. The initial outbreak had seemed manageable, but as days turned into weeks, the disease grew more aggressive, claiming lives at an alarming rate. Zyga's advanced medical technology, which had previously been able to combat any ailment, was now proving ineffective against this mysterious virus. The air was thick with despair as families mourned their loved ones, and the once vibrant cities fell into a grim silence. In the grand hall of the royal palace, King Xerxes, the ruler of Zyga, called for an emergency meeting with the planet's top scientists and medical experts. The atmosphere was tense as the brightest minds of Zyga gathered, each one carrying the weight of their planet's survival on their shoulders. The king, a towering figure with an aura of authority, addressed the assembly. "We are facing an unprecedented crisis," King Xerxes began, his voice resonating through the hall. "Our people are dying, and our medical advancements have failed us. We need a solution, and we need it now." Dr. Vela, a leading virologist, stepped forward. "Your Majesty, we have exhausted all known treatments and preventive measures. This virus is unlike anything we have encountered before. It mutates rapidly, rendering our vaccines ineffective within days." The room fell silent. The gravity of the situation was sinking in. Dr. Leora, another esteemed scientist, spoke up. "We must think outside the box. Perhaps we can find a solution beyond our planet." A murmur of agreement spread through the hall. The idea was radical, but so were the times. The king's eyes narrowed as he considered the proposal. "Are you suggesting we seek help from another world?" Dr. Leora nodded. "Yes, Your Majesty. We have monitored various planets for potential solutions. Earth, in particular, has shown remarkable advancements in medical science. They have recently developed a formula that could potentially cure our virus." King Xerxes leaned back on his throne, deep in thought. "But how do we acquire this formula?" Dr. Vela answered, "We must send a team to Earth. A team that can blend in, gather the necessary information, and return with the formula." The king's decision was swift. "Very well. Select the best candidates for this mission. They must be skilled, discreet, and capable of mimicking human appearance." The scientists nodded and immediately began preparations. 5 of the planet's most capable beings were chosen for the mission, 3 AI technology experts and 2 shapeshifters who could transform themselves to look like humans. These 5 were briefed on the critical nature of their mission. Failure was not an option. As the team prepared to depart, the entire planet watched with bated breath. Families clung to the hope that these 5 brave souls could save them from the brink of extinction. The spacecraft, sleek and silent, stood ready to launch, its destination set for Earth. King Xerxes addressed the team one last time. "You carry the hopes of our entire planet. Bring back the cure, and you will be heroes. Fail, and we may not have a future." With a final nod, the team boarded the spacecraft. Engines roared to life, and within moments, the ship ascended, piercing through the atmosphere and heading towards Earth. The fate of Zyga now rested in the hands of these 5 aliens as the planet waited in anxious anticipation. As the spacecraft hurtled through the vastness of space, the 5 aliens on board reviewed their mission details. Each member of the team had a specific role to play. Nara, Rax, and Zor were the AI technology experts, tasked with hacking into Earth's systems and gathering data. Lin and Terra, the shapeshifters, would blend into human society to gather information and assist in acquiring the formula. After a tense journey, the spacecraft finally entered Earth's atmosphere. They chose a secluded landing spot in a dense forest to avoid detection. Once on the ground, Lin and Terra shifted into their human forms, adjusting their appearances to look like ordinary Earthlings. The team then made their way to the nearest city, blending in seamlessly with the bustling crowd. Their first objective was to locate a special hospital known for its advanced research on infectious diseases. After days of careful observation and data collection, they'd identified a renowned facility in the heart of the city. The hospital was equipped with state-of-the-art technology and staffed by some of the world's leading medical experts. Disguised as visiting researchers, Lin and Terra gained access to the hospital. They marveled at the advanced medical equipment and the efficiency of the human doctors. The hospital was a hub of activity, with doctors and nurses moving swiftly to treat patients and conduct research. In the hospital's research wing, they discovered that humans were indeed working on a cure for a virus similar to the one plaguing their planet. The research was led by Dr. Patricia Evans, a brilliant scientist known for her groundbreaking work in virology. Lynn and Tara made it their mission to get close to her. Using their charm and intelligence, they befriended Dr. Evans and gained her trust. They spent hours in the lab, observing her work and subtly gathering information. Meanwhile, Nera, Rex, and Zor worked behind the scenes, using their AI expertise to hack into the hospital's database and extract valuable data. Days turned into weeks, and the aliens' integration into the hospital's environment became almost seamless. They carefully avoided any suspicion, always ensuring their true identities remained hidden. The tension, however, was palpable. They knew that one wrong move could jeopardize their mission and, by extension, the survival of their planet. One evening, as Dr. Evans was working late, Lynn approached her with a feigned look of curiosity. "Dr. Evans, I've been fascinated by your research. Can you explain how you plan to create a cure for this virus?" Dr. Evans, flattered by Lynn's interest, explained her approach in detail. She spoke about the unique properties of the virus, the challenges they faced in developing a vaccine, and the breakthrough they had recently achieved. Lynn listened intently, memorizing every detail. With this newfound knowledge, Lynn and Tara convened with their team. "We have the information we need," Lynn said. "Now we need to acquire the formula." The team devised a plan to infiltrate the lab and steal the formula. They chose a night when the hospital was less busy. Lynn and Tara would distract Dr. Evans, while Naira, Rax, and Zor would break into the lab and retrieve the formula. Everything was set in motion. Lynn and Tara invited Dr. Evans to dinner, keeping her occupied while the rest of the team moved swiftly. Using their advanced AI technology, they bypassed the lab's security systems and accessed the storage where the formula was kept. As Nira carefully extracted the formula, an alarm suddenly blared. They had triggered a security sensor. The team moved quickly, grabbing the formula and heading towards the exit. They knew they had limited time before the authorities arrived. Meanwhile, Lynn and Tara, sensing the danger, made their excuses and left the restaurant. They met up with the rest of the team outside the hospital, and together they fled into the night. Despite the close call, they had succeeded in their mission. The formula was in their hands. ####. Part 3. Blending in. The spacecraft descended through Earth's atmosphere, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to human eyes and radar. The 5 aliens, Lynn, Tara, Nira, Rex, and Zor, prepared for their mission with a mixture of anticipation and anxiety. They knew the stakes were high. Failure was not an option. Upon landing in a remote forest, the team activated their shape-shifting devices. These sophisticated gadgets allowed them to alter their physical appearance to mimic human beings. Lynn and Tara took on the forms of young researchers, while Naira, Rax, and Zor assumed the roles of maintenance workers. Their transformation complete, they set off towards the nearby city where a renowned hospital was located. Navigating the bustling city streets, the aliens were struck by the similarities and differences between Earth and their home planet, Zyga. The humans' resilience in the face of adversity reminded them of their own struggles. They arrived at the hospital, a massive, state-of-the-art facility known for its cutting-edge research and treatment of viral diseases. Inside the hospital, the team split into 2 groups. Lynn and Tara, posing as visiting researchers, sought to integrate themselves into the hospital's research community. They approached Dr. Patricia Evans, a leading virologist renowned for her work on the current pandemic. Presenting themselves as scientists from an overseas institute, they expressed interest in her research and offered their assistance. Dr. Evans, initially cautious, was soon impressed by their knowledge and enthusiasm. She granted them access to the hospital's research wing, where they could observe and contribute to ongoing projects. Meanwhile, Nera, Rax, and Zor began working in the hospital's maintenance department, using their positions to gather information about the hospital's security systems and storage facilities. As Lynn and Tara delved deeper into the research, they discovered that Earth was also grappling with a virus similar to the one ravaging Zyga. This realization added urgency to their mission. Disguised as humans, they observed the hospital's treatment protocols and noted the advancements in medical technology that had yet to reach their own planet. The team decided that the best way to obtain the formula was to seek treatment themselves. Feigning symptoms of the virus, they admitted themselves as patients. Their deception worked, and they were soon undergoing the same treatments as the affected humans. During their stay, they observed the process closely, learning everything they could about the cure. One evening, as Lynn was receiving her treatment, she engaged in a conversation with Dr. Evans. The doctor spoke passionately about the progress they were making and the hope it brought to those suffering from the virus. Lynn listened intently, her mind racing with the implications of their mission. Meanwhile, Nara, Rax, and Zor utilized their AI capabilities to hack into the hospital's database. They accessed confidential files and mapped out the location of the formula. Their advanced technology allowed them to bypass security protocols undetected, but they knew they couldn't afford any mistakes. As the days passed, the team grew more confident in their ability to execute their plan. Lynn and Tara continued to build rapport with the hospital staff, gaining their trust and learning valuable information. They discovered that the formula was stored in a secure lab, accessible only to a select few. With the groundwork laid, the team prepared for the final phase of their mission. They knew they had to act swiftly and precisely. The success of their mission and the survival of their planet depended on it. With the plan set, the aliens executed their infiltration with meticulous precision. Lynn and Tara, now well integrated into the hospital's research community, continued to build relationships with the staff. Their friendly demeanor and willingness to help earned them the trust of several key doctors, including Dr. Patricia Evans. Dr. Evans, impressed by their dedication, began to involve Lynn and Tara in more sensitive aspects of her research. She provided them with access to crucial data and even allowed them to assist in the lab where the formula was being developed. Lynn and Tara carefully documented everything, relaying the information to Nara, Rax, and Zor, who worked on decoding and replicating the formula. One evening, Lynn and Tara managed to get Dr. Evans to stay late under the pretext of discussing an important breakthrough. Meanwhile, Nara, Rax, and Zor, disguised as maintenance workers, positioned themselves near the lab. Using their advanced AI technology, they temporarily disabled the security systems, granting them access to the lab. Inside, Rax quickly located the storage unit containing the formula. With Zor's assistance, he began the extraction process, using their AI tools to copy the necessary data. As they worked, Nara monitored the security systems, ensuring they wouldn't be detected. However, their actions did not go entirely unnoticed. Dr. Evans, a seasoned researcher with a keen sense of her surroundings, noticed the unusual activity. She decided to investigate, heading towards the lab. Lynn, sensing danger, pretended to be unwell, collapsing in front of Dr. Evans and clutching her stomach. Dr. Evans, caught off guard, rushed to help Lynn, diverting her attention. Tara, meanwhile, acted panicked and asked Dr. Evans for assistance, buying the team precious time. Inside the lab, Rax and Zor completed the extraction just as Dr. Evans decided to check the lab. She found the door ajar and walked in, only to be confronted by Rax and Zor. Realizing she had seen too much, Rax and Zor acted quickly. Zor used a mild sedative to subdue Dr. Evans, ensuring she wouldn't raise the alarm. With the formula in hand, the team regrouped and prepared to leave the hospital. They knew they had little time before their actions were discovered. The team moved swiftly through the hospital's corridors, blending in with the evening staff. As they approached the exit, a security guard named Thomas noticed their suspicious behavior. Sensing danger, Nara signaled the team, and they altered their route towards a lesser-used exit. Thomas, growing more suspicious, radioed for backup. The team split up to evade capture. Lynn and Tara continued towards the back exit, while Nara, Rax, and Zor took a different path. Thomas, now with backup on the way, cornered Lynn and Tara. Thinking quickly, Tara induced a minor AI-induced malfunction in Thomas's radio, distracting him. Lynn and Tara slipped past him and out the door. Nara, Rax, and Zor encountered another security patrol. Rax used a holographic projector to create a false image of an empty hallway, allowing them to pass undetected. The trio made their way to the parking lot, where they regrouped with Lynn and Tara. Outside, they navigated through the crowded streets, avoiding main roads where police patrols were more frequent. They reached an abandoned warehouse, a predetermined safe house, and planned their next move. Sirens approached as the hospital raised the alarm. The team moved quickly, exiting the warehouse and blending into the shadows. They navigated through back alleys and side streets, avoiding detection. Finally, they reached the forest where their spacecraft was hidden. Exhausted but relieved, they boarded the spacecraft and initiated the launch sequence. The mission had been fraught with danger, but they had succeeded. Now, they just needed to return home safely and deliver the formula. The journey back to Ziga was filled with anticipation and hope. The atmosphere inside the hospital was tense as the aliens regrouped at their safe house, the abandoned warehouse. With the stolen formula securely in their possession, they knew they had to leave Earth quickly and discreetly. As they exited the warehouse, the team made their way through the city's dark alleyways, hoping to avoid detection. The streets were eerily quiet, with only the occasional sound of a distant siren breaking the silence. They knew they had to stay vigilant. Any misstep could lead to their capture. Their first major challenge came when they encountered a security patrol. The guard, Thomas, who had earlier been suspicious of their behavior, was now actively searching for them. He had alerted the authorities, who were now combing the area for any sign of the intruders. The aliens' advanced AI technology, however, gave them an edge. Rax used a holographic device to create a false image of an empty alleyway, which successfully diverted the security patrol. Despite their clever tactics, the team's presence had not gone entirely unnoticed. Another security guard spotted them and immediately radioed for backup. The situation grew more precarious as police cars began to converge on their location. The team knew they had to act fast. They split up into two groups, with Lynn and Tara taking one route and Nira, Rax, and Zor another. Lynn and Tara managed to slip past the increasing number of patrols using a combination of AI-induced holograms and quick thinking. Tara feigned illness once more, diverting a pair of guards long enough for Lynn to disable their communication devices. Meanwhile, Nira, Rax, and Zor encountered a roadblock. Using their advanced AI hacking skills, they managed to disrupt the police's communication network, causing confusion and delays among the responding units. This gave them the precious time needed to navigate through the city's outskirts and reach the forest where their spacecraft was hidden. As they approached the spacecraft, the team was once again confronted by security forces. This time, however, they were prepared. Zor activated an electromagnetic pulse (EMP) device, temporarily disabling all electronic devices in the vicinity. This caused the security vehicles to stall and their communication devices to fail, giving the team a clear path to their spacecraft. With the EMP providing a critical window of opportunity, the aliens quickly boarded their spacecraft and initiated the launch sequence. The engines rode to life, and the craft ascended rapidly, leaving the Earth's atmosphere behind. The team's relief was palpable as they sped towards their home planet Ziga. The journey back was filled with a mix of exhaustion and anticipation. The stolen formula was securely stored, and the team constantly monitored it to ensure its integrity. They knew that their mission's success hinged not just on stealing the formula, but also on delivering it safely to their planet's scientists. As they approached Ziga, the team's thoughts turned to the impact of their mission. The survival of their species depended on the formula they had risked everything to obtain. They prepared for re-entry, their minds focused on the hope that they were bringing back to their world. The alien spacecraft entered Ziga's atmosphere, descending towards the capital city where the alien king and the top scientists awaited their arrival. The mission had been fraught with peril, but the team had successfully navigated every obstacle. As they landed, a contingent of scientists and security personnel met them. The team was ushered into the royal palace, where the alien king awaited them in the grand hall. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. The 5 aliens, Lynn, Tara, Nira, Rax, and Zor, presented the stolen formula to the king, who handed it over to the leading scientists. They immediately began analyzing the formula, eager to start the production of the cure. Days turned into weeks as the scientists worked tirelessly to replicate the formula and produce the necessary vaccine. The initial trials were promising, and soon the first doses were administered to the most critically ill patients. The results were miraculous. Patients who had been on the brink of death began to recover, their symptoms abating rapidly. News of the successful cure spread like wildfire across the planet. The once dying population now had hope. The formula was distributed to all medical facilities, and mass vaccination campaigns were launched. The virus, which had caused so much death and despair, was finally being eradicated. The 5 aliens who had risked everything to save their planet were hailed as heroes. A grand ceremony was held in their honor, attended by the king, the scientists, and countless citizens. The king addressed the crowd, praising the bravery and ingenuity of Lin, Terra, Nera, Rex, and Zor. Their daring mission had not only saved lives, but had also united the planet in a common cause. Statues were erected in their honor, and their names became synonymous with courage and selflessness. The team's actions had sparked a renewed sense of unity and purpose among the population of Zyga. The planet, once on the brink of collapse, was now on the path to recovery and prosperity. As the celebrations continued, the 5 heroes reflected on their journey. They had faced countless dangers and challenges, but their determination and teamwork had seen them through. The mission had strengthened their bonds and reaffirmed their commitment to protecting their people. In the years that followed, the planet of Zygo flourished. The lessons learned from the crisis led to advancements in medical technology and public health. The aliens remained vigilant, always ready to protect their world from future threats. And while the memory of the virus and the perilous mission to Earth would always remain, it served as a testament to their resilience and the enduring power of hope. The 5 aliens, now legends in their own right, continued to serve their planet, using their skills and knowledge to ensure that Zygo would never again face such a dire threat. Their story became a beacon of hope, inspiring future generations to rise above challenges and work together for the greater good.